Hi, I'm Emily. I've been living in apartment 3B at Riverside Towers for 3 years now, and honestly, it's been perfect. Quiet building, friendly neighbors, close to my marketing job downtown. Life was pretty predictable in the best way possible. That all changed the day Marcus moved into 3C. I was coming home from work when I first saw him. Mid-30s, expensive gym clothes, carrying boxes marked sound system and vinyl collection. "Hey there, neighbor," he said, flashing this overly confident smile. "I'm Marcus, just moving in next door." "Emily," I replied, shifting my grocery bags. "Welcome to the building." "Thanks. Fair warning, I'm a DJ on the weekends, but don't worry, I keep it reasonable." "Oh, that's cool, just, walls are pretty thin here." "Totally get it. I'm super respectful about noise. Had a place downtown before this, never had complaints." I should have known right then something was off. People who say they never have complaints usually have the most. That Friday night, I found out exactly what reasonable meant to Marcus. At 11 p.m., bass started pounding through our shared wall. Not just music, the kind of deep, vibrating bass that makes your teeth rattle. I knocked on his door. Nothing. The music was too loud for him to hear. I knocked harder, then finally called his phone. I'd found his number on the building directory. "Hello?" he shouted over the music. "Marcus, it's Emily from next door. Could you turn it down a bit? It's really late." "Oh, sure, my bad. Didn't realize it was that loud." The music dropped by maybe 5%. At 2 a.m., I gave up trying to sleep and crashed on my couch with noise-canceling headphones. This became my life. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Sometimes Sundays, too. By week 3, I'd talked to Marcus 6 times. Each time he'd apologize, promise to be quieter, and nothing would change. I ran into Sarah from 3A in the mailroom one morning. She looked as exhausted as I felt. "Emily, can I talk to you about something?" she asked, glancing around nervously. "Of course. What's up?" "It's about Marcus. I know you've been complaining about the noise, too." "Yeah, it's been terrible. Has he been bothering you?" Sarah nodded. "But that's not the worst part. I heard him talking to Mrs. Chen yesterday. Emily, he's been telling her that you're the problem." I froze. "What do you mean?" "He told her you've been harassing him, that you bang on his door at all hours, yell at him in the hallway, and that you're just trying to get him kicked out because you don't like him." "That's insane. I've only knocked on his door during his parties, and I've never yelled at anyone." "I know," Sarah said, her voice quiet but firm. "I told Mrs. Chen I'd never heard you yell or cause problems. But Emily, he's been doing this with other neighbors too. He's trying to paint himself as the victim before anyone can complain about him." My hands were shaking. "Why would he do that?" "I don't know. But I've lived here 5 years, and I've never seen anything like this. He's manipulative. And there's more. I heard him telling Mrs. Chen that you've been making noise complaints because you're jealous of his lifestyle or something ridiculous like that." "This is unbelievable. I wanted you to know before you talked to Mrs. Chen yourself. He's already got his story ready." The next day, I called Mrs. Chen. "Mrs. Chen, this is Emily Martinez in 3B. I need to talk to you about Marcus Rodriguez in 3C. "Ah, Emily. Marcus mentioned you might call. Listen, I understand there's been some tension between you two." "Tension?" "Mrs. Chen, he's been having loud parties until 3 a.m. multiple nights a week. I've tried talking to him directly, but nothing changes. He said you've been aggressive with him, banging on walls, confronting him in the hallway." "I've knocked on his door during his parties, yes. I've been nothing but polite. Has anyone else complained?" "Well, Sarah mentioned something, yes. And Mr. Peterson from 2C. Then you know it's not just me. What does the lease say about noise violations?" Mrs. Chen sighed. "Quiet hours are 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. on weekdays, midnight to 8 a.m. on weekends. If there are multiple documented complaints, I can issue warnings." "Then I'm documenting this formally. Can I email you?" "Yes, but Emily, I need proof. Not just your word against his." I called my friend Jake right after. He's a paralegal and always knows what to do in these situations. "Jake, I need advice. My neighbor is making my life hell and lying about me to the landlord." "Slow down. Tell me everything. I explained the whole situation. He listened carefully, asking questions. Okay, here's what you do, Jake said. Document everything. Record the noise with your phone, timestamp it. Get statements from other neighbors. Check your lease for violation clauses. And Emily, record your conversations with him if your state allows it. Is that legal? In our state, you only need one-party consent. That's you. Just make sure you're part of the conversation. What if he gets violent or threatens me? Then you call the police immediately. That's harassment, possibly assault, depending on what he does. Criminal charges would strengthen your eviction case. I started my documentation that night. 11:47 p.m., bath started. I recorded a video showing my apartment shaking, glasses rattling on my counter. The next day, I knocked on Mr. Peterson's door. Mr. Peterson? I'm Emily from 3B. Do you have a minute? He opened the door looking tired. If this is about Marcus, then yes, I have several minutes. So he's been bothering you too? Bothering? He's been making this building unbearable. Last Saturday, his party went until 4 a.m. I'm 72 years old. I need my sleep. Would you be willing to make a formal complaint to Mrs. Chen? Already did. She said she'd look into it. That was 2 weeks ago. What if we all complain together? Me, you, Sarah from 3A? Mr. Peterson nodded firmly. Now you're talking. Strength in numbers. These landlords don't listen to one voice, but 3? That's different. Exactly. I'm documenting everything now. Recordings, timestamps, the whole thing. Smart girl. My grandson's a lawyer. He always says documentation is everything. But when I talked to Lisa from 2B, I got a different reaction. Honestly, Emily, I think you're being a bit dramatic, Lisa said, arms crossed. Marcus is just having fun. You're young. Don't you ever want to let loose? At 3 a.m. on a Wednesday? With music so loud the building shakes? He's friendly, always says hi. Maybe if you were nicer to him, he'd be more considerate. I've been nothing but nice. He's the one lying about me. That's what you say. I heard you've been pretty hostile. From who? Marcus? Maybe you're just too uptight. Not everyone wants to live in a library. I left before I said something I'd regret. That evening, Jake came over with a folder. I pulled your lease and the building codes, he said, spreading documents on my coffee table. Marcus is violating multiple clauses. Noise violations, hosting frequent large gatherings, possibly exceeding occupancy limits. If we document this properly, Mrs. Chen has grounds for eviction. And if she doesn't act? Then we look at civil harassment options. But let's try the lease violation route first. It's cleaner. A week later, armed with recordings, neighbor statements, and documentation, I knocked on Marcus's door at 7 p.m., during reasonable hours, with my phone recording in my pocket. He answered in a tank top, music playing softly inside. Emily, what now? We need to talk about your noise violations. Noise violations? You mean my living my life? I mean your parties that go until 3 a.m. multiple nights a week. I have recordings, timestamps, and statements from 3 other neighbors. His expression changed, smile disappearing. You've been recording me? I've been recording the noise coming through my wall, which is legal. This is harassment. I've been nothing but nice to you. You've been lying to Mrs. Chen about me, saying I've been aggressive and harassing you when all I've done is ask you to respect quiet hours. Maybe if you weren't such a... He caught himself. Look, I pay my rent. I can do what I want in my own apartment. Not according to the lease. Section 7, paragraph 3, quiet hours, you're in violation. So what? You're trying to get me evicted? Over some music? Over months of sleep deprivation and your lies about me. Sarah's door opened. She stepped into the hallway. Emily's telling the truth, Marcus. We've all heard your parties. Marcus's face reddened. Stay out of this, Sarah. No, you've been disrupting this entire floor. Emily's been more patient than any of us would have been. This is bullshit, Marcus snapped. You're all ganging up on me because you're jealous. Jealous? I laughed. Of what? Your inability to be a decent neighbor? You know what your problem is, Emily? You're a miserable person who can't stand seeing someone enjoy their life. And your problem is you think the world revolves around you. It doesn't. You have neighbors. Act like it. You want to play games? His voice dropped, menacing. I can make your life hell. You think noise is bad? I can do a lot worse. Are you threatening me? I'm telling you what happens when people mess with me. Mr. Peterson's door opened. Young man, I'm a witness to that threat. I suggest you go back inside. Marcus pointed at me. This isn't over. You're going to regret this. He slammed his door. The music immediately cranked up, louder than ever. Sarah put her hand on my shoulder. Did you record that? Every word. Good. That was a direct threat. You need to call the police. My hands were shaking, but I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. 20 minutes later, Officer Rodriguez was taking statements in the hallway. And he said, I can make your life hell, and you're going to regret this? Officer Rodriguez asked. Yes, I have it recorded. And we have witnesses. Mr. Peterson, you heard this? Every word. It was a clear threat. Menacing tone, pointing finger, the whole 9 yards. Officer Rodriguez knocked on Marcus's door. When Marcus opened it, his whole demeanor changed, suddenly polite, confused. Officer, I don't know what she told you, but I never threatened anyone. We had a disagreement about noise, that's all. Sir, we have multiple witnesses and a recording. I need you to step outside. This is insane. She's been harassing me for weeks. Sir, step outside, now. As Officer Rodriguez spoke with Marcus, Sarah whispered to me, He's done. Making threats like that with witnesses? That's criminal harassment. I just want to sleep in my own home, I said quietly. You will. This ends now. Chapter 4. Consequences, Mrs. Chen called me the next morning. Emily, I heard about last night. Officer Rodriguez contacted me. I'm so sorry I didn't take this more seriously. What happens now? I'm issuing a formal lease violation notice. Combined with the police report and the complaints from you, Sarah, and Mr. Peterson, I have grounds for eviction. He has 30 days. What if he retaliates? The police report gives you protection. If he contacts you at all, call them immediately. I'm also installing security cameras in the hallway this week. Thank you, Mrs. Chen. No, thank you. I should have listened sooner. I let him manipulate me, and I'm sorry. Jake took me to lunch that afternoon. How are you holding up? He asked. Honestly, I'm relieved and exhausted. I can't believe it got this far. You did everything right. You tried handling it directly first, documented everything, followed proper channels. Some people like Marcus just don't respect boundaries until they face real consequences. He's still there for 30 days. That scares me. That's why you have that police report. One wrong move from him, and he's facing criminal charges on top of eviction. Trust me, he knows that. I hope you're right. I am. Guys like him are all bluster until real consequences show up. Then they fold. The next 3 weeks were quiet. Marcus stopped the parties completely. I barely saw him, and when I did, he wouldn't make eye contact. Then, on day 28, I found him waiting by my door when I came home from work. Emily, please, can we talk? No. I know I messed up. I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. Can't we work this out? Work what out? You threatened me. You lied about me. You made my life miserable for months. I was stressed. New place, trying to make friends. I handled it badly. That's not an explanation. That's an excuse. Please, if you talk to Mrs. Chen, maybe she'll let me stay. I'll be quiet. I promise. Your promises mean nothing. You promised to be quiet every time I talked to you, and nothing changed. Emily, come on. Don't be like this. Don't be like what? Someone who holds you accountable? I said I'm sorry. And I don't accept your apology. You don't get to terrorize someone for months and then say sorry when you finally face consequences. You're really going to ruin my life over this? I'm not ruining anything. You did this to yourself. Sarah opened her door. Marcus, leave her alone. This is a private conversation. No, I said firmly. It's not. There's nothing private between us. You need to leave. You're heartless. No, I'm someone who refuses to be a doormat. There's a difference. He left without another word. Moving day came. I watched from my window as Marcus loaded boxes into a truck. The same boxes marked sound system he'd brought in months ago. Sarah knocked on my door with coffee. How does it feel? Like I can breathe again. Like this is actually my home. You taught me something, you know? That it's okay to stand up for yourself, even when people make you feel like you're being unreasonable. I almost gave up so many times. But you didn't. That's what matters. Mr. Peterson stopped by that afternoon. Emily, I wanted to thank you. You stood up when the rest of us were too tired to fight. This building feels peaceful again. We all did it together, Mr. Peterson. Maybe, but you started it. That takes courage. Jake texted me that evening. The dragon is slain. Celebrate? I smiled. Already am. Silence never sounded so good. That night, I slept in my own bed for the first time in months without noise-canceling headphones, without bass rattling my walls, without dreading the next interruption. Some people think revenge means stooping to someone's level. But real revenge? It's holding people accountable and refusing to let them manipulate you into accepting less than you deserve. Marcus learned that lesson the hard way. Have you ever had to deal with a nightmare neighbor? What did you do about it?